Little boy, the curse may have been broken.
All right.
Goofballs.
I said you'll have fun, and I won't disappoint you.
It's funny that I chose to hang this poster up for today's video. Total coincidence, but this is one of my favorite pictures of Ace ever. I know he doesn't have a lot of the silver around his eyes there, but I've always loved the Ace solo cover and Ace on the Dynasty poster because he has that kind of like rock star sneer to his face, and I totally feel he does in this picture too. This picture is obviously the era of Kiss at the top of their game, and I just imagine Ace like loving life at this point. Rich, guitar god, one of my favorite pictures of Ace, and he is the topic tonight. Super quick and painless video tonight, get you back to your Friday night. Gonna be talking a little Ace tonight, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, in 2025 we have broken the curse because this showed up. The Ace Frehley, you get why I'm doing that, the Ace Frehley STUART HALL notebook from 1978. And if you don't get why I'm doing that, always get a lot of grief for saying Frehley and not Frehley. I grew up, my friends grew up knowing him as Ace Frehley. And I realize now a good comeback would be you just, whoever's giving you grief, you guide them to Weezer's in the garage. Boom. Argument ended. The Ace Frehley STUART HALL notebook from 1978 has shown up, and I do believe the curse is broken. I personally have been in the notebook game pre-2019. I would say probably somewhere between 2015 and 2019 is when I got my first Kiss notebook, and it was this, the Cube photo, and this is a teen scene one. There it is, STUART HALL Company, Kansas City, Missouri, 64108. That building is right down the highway from me. We've been there before, and a goal of mine is to, once all of the notebooks are in the collection, revisit STUART HALL and kind of have a come to Jesus moment with the notebooks and the building that birthed them. I still say how fantastic it would be for an 8-year-old Kiss fan here in Kansas City, 1978, their mom, dad work at STUART HALL, to have them come home with these beauties night after night after night. Can't even imagine the fun of that. I'll link that old STUART HALL video in this video. Kind of cringy because it's an old one. All my videos are cringy, but the older ones even more so. Next up in the collection was the solo album book, and this was the first book I had with the actual order form inside. Those posters, $2 a pop. You can't even get those for $200 today. My. We need a time machine. And this was the first notebook I had that actually had the Kiss logo on the back. Next up of the solos was the Paul Stanley notebook, also with the merch ad. It's funny they don't do any other merch in here besides the posters. Like the Phantom merch form has like everything. Odd that they only went with those posters, but there's got to be a reason behind that. Maybe a deal with Boutwell? I don't know. There's got to be a reason behind that. Also with the Kiss logo. That reason would be fun to hunt down and find out. And then next up was the Peter Criss solo notebook. The leopards on the front. Also the Kiss logo. This did not have... Oh, it does. This does have the merch form. And also, this was completely filled out by a kid. 1978. All of his book reports in here. There's even one stapled in the back. There's his reading progress. That is some pure 1978 fun. He does a book report on Star Wars. I mean, this is KISS fan history right here. Very cool notebook, and I, you know, as the world turns, I figured, oh well, my next one will be Gene, and then one day, hopefully, I'll be able to obtain those Dynasty Flame notebooks. Now, those come with a hefty price tag. Those are going to be very hard to get, and I believe the Dynasty Flame ones, there's even a large notebook and a smaller notebook. My buddy Todd has the smaller one. I've seen it, I've held it. It's beauty. It's a beauty, but Lord willing and the creek don't rise, because those prices on that are completely silly. And I figured after I get Gene and both the Dynasties at a hefty price, the last one I'll ever find would be Ace, because that's the curse of Ace when you are collecting. Ace is always the last to show up, but he showed up. I can't believe it. Christmas miracle 2024 into 2025. Ace, right off the bat, kicking January in the ass and really putting to bed that curse. I think the curse is over. The curse of the Bambino is over. Ace has arrived before Gene, before Dynasty. This is a white notebook background with the KISS logo. STUART Hall Company. Love that. No merch form, but Ace is here. School can go back into session after winter break. That's fun to think about. How many kids in 1978 got these notebooks for Christmas and went back to school with these notebooks? If I was a kid in 1978, I would have taken it to school, but I would have been very protective of it. It would not have stayed at school in my desk. It would have come home with me every day, because I would not have wanted to lose it, and I would have hated to maybe go out to the playground. You come back, notebook's gone, nobody's raising their hand as the thief. You're -1 KISS notebook. Part of me, as a child, would have kept this at home. Would have been my dream book. Speaking of books, let's do this week's journal entry. Ace Frehley. Into the fold. The curse is over. It's gonna be a good year. And real quick, I know last week I mentioned I may be doing the contest drawing today. This month's kind of got away from me. I apologize. We've had shit weather, and just this month's moving faster than I had planned. And our buddy Rex messaged me today and asked if I had gotten his postcard, which I have not. I think it's because of the weather, and the weather is completely screwed up the USPS. And so let's have those postcards if you want to be entered in that contest we talked about a few weeks ago. Let's have those postcards to me in my P.O. box by January 31st. And on February 1st, when I film, we'll do the drawing. And then you all will see the results February 7th. That will give Rex's postcard time to get here. And you, if you want to be entered in the contest, shoot me a postcard with a good return address to the P.O. box below by January 31st. I promise we're going to do this drawing. It's just been a crazy time. So, today's entry, Rock and Roll All Night Journal Everyday Journal, Friday, January 24th. What is the most inspirational advice you have ever heard from Gene Simmons? I have two. Of course, my first being the quote from Might and Magic of KISS that kind of moved me as a freshman in high school, November 1989. Failure is one step closer to success. Always love that, because just proof you can fail at anything, learn, and keep moving. Keep on going. My probably most favorite of all is actually not a piece of advice he gave. It was in a response to somebody giving him shit on Twitter many years ago. And it went like this. So obviously somebody named DB was giving Gene shit on Twitter, and he said to them, "I recommend you don't lead a small life, or do." But this is my favorite part. "For me, the sky has no limits, and my dreams and aspirations don't depend on your approval or assessment." That's pretty badass. From the demon himself. Those are words to live by. Chase your dreams, do what you want to do, fuck what people think. So there you have today's entry rock and roll night and journal every day. I am having a blast doing this. I hope you all are too. I've, forgotten a lot of this stuff that I put in here, and so it's kind of fun to revisit. A lot of my views have changed, and it's just a lot of fun. Much like Kiss collecting, much like talking to you every Friday night. So with that, we say thank you for hanging with us tonight and waxing a little rock and roll nostalgia here in the Wax Night house with us. Be good to your babies. Spay, neuter, microchip. Take care. Be safe. The Ace Frehley curse is broken. And yes, I said freely. Take care. Be safe. We will talk to you soon.